Welcome to this learning object. We are going to go through Access Data's forensic tool case, better known as FTK, and do similar Windows registry forensics that we did with EnCase. As you can see, we have the very same Malone hard drive added, and it is an EO1 file. You can load EnCase EO1 files into FTK for processing. You have tabs somewhat like in FTK, similar to EnCase, but perhaps a little more organized. And you have a menu structure very similar to EnCase. For example, if you wanted to add evidence, we would bring that up. This is the evidence that we already have, but we could click the Add button to add other files to this. Now, in EnCase, you run the evidence processor. Here you have a refinement option script for evidence processing with various options. Notice there's one that you can run a registry report and have it off to a directory. And there are other areas you can refine by date. So for example, you might have a court order that says you can only look in certain dates and things like that. But this is the refinement option, very similar in concept to what we do with EnCase in the evidence processor. Okay, we're not going to run this again. It takes a little while. We're in the Explorer tab. Similar to EnCase, you can break things down like a Windows Explorer, and there is a green arrow as opposed to the green home plate to choose various drives and options. And in the lower portion is the list of files, and to the right is the contents of the file with the various types of viewers. You can sort by clicking on the columns, just like in EnCase, and we can load up that GIF, and we can see the hex for the GIF. We can see the 47, 49, 46, 38 header. We can click on the natural, and that's the picture. We can also go into the Overview tab, and we can see a number of different types of file structures. This is actually very useful and easy to understand. In the file category, for example, you can see files organized by database or email, things like that. If it was mobile phone information, well, if we go a little farther down, there is this operating system files. And within the operating system files, we can see the Windows NT registry. And if we go into the registry, which the NT user file has the four SAMs, or four hives that we're interested in, the SAM, security, software, and system. If we were to go into the SAM hive, we can see some information to the right that describes various things. Another function of FTK is that you can open these in a registry viewer. And if we were to open up the SAM in the domains, the accounts, the users, and the names, we can see Sam Malone. And if we click on Sam Malone, the way you read the viewer is you go then up to the upper right where the type says he is 0x03E9, and that tells you that he is this particular user. And then you can see down in the lower portion in the key properties that that is the SID 1001. So we can open up a number of the different files in the registry with the registry viewer, in addition to running that registry report in the processing options. Now, just to close out a little bit of an orientation with FTK, there's other things of interest. Perhaps there are file extensions, so all of the files are also sorted by extension. So for example, you could find all the JPEGs or all of the spreadsheets and things like that. The email is sorted by date, by address, by email domain, making it very easy to find. And there are other things like the index search is very similar to the search that we can run in EnCase, where we have the index created so we can type in kind of like a Google search. The volatile is where you can do some analysis of RAM, real memory. So I hope you found this useful, a little bit of a comparison contrast to EnCase, and we will see you in another learning object.